Welcome back, folks. This is Amy McDonald. I'm the host of the Foolish Optimist podcast. If you are new here, we are on the hunt for the next generation of leaders in the United States. If you haven't already subscribed yet to the pod, wherever you're listening, please go ahead and do that. If you're feeling absolutely magnanimous, you can also rate and review it. And now on to the fun part. Our guest today is Joey Marschall. Marschall with a C, so Marschall. He is running in the 6th Congressional District in Wisconsin. He was born and raised in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and currently live in Marschall County. And he believes in healthcare for all. He also believes that everyone is entitled to human rights. And he is standing up for everybody this year in 2026, running for the Congress. So Joey, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I meant to plug your Facebook. You can follow Joey on Facebook and his campaign at Joey Marschall on Facebook. And we start the podcast the same way every single time, but maybe you could tell us why you're running in 2026.
Pretty much started a lot this last year during the election. Kept looking around, trying to figure out what was going on, and things were getting chaotic and going all over the place. When I was trying to figure out who was running in my district, I literally had to look it up to try to figure it out. So between that and a lot of the past elections, some of them didn't even have a person running on the Democratic side. So people were completely unopposed during their elections. And it got to the point where I figured, all right, if somebody wants to do something and make changes, they're going to have to step up. And I was always taught that if you want to make a change or you want to do something, do it yourself. If you don't want to, sit down and shut up.
Right. It's either, as my mom would put it, quit your bitching or do something.
Correct.
That's really exciting. And it's also very, very much what I'm hearing from a lot of people. So you are a Fond du Lac native. Could you tell us a little bit about your district? We've had someone else that's in your primary, one of your primary contenders on the pod already, but maybe you could tell us a little bit more about the district. Is it rural? Is it city? Is it everything in between?
The majority of it's pretty rural. We have a lot of farmers in the area. We do also have a lot of manufacturing in the area. So between those two things, those are pretty much the two biggest industries in the area. We do have a few bigger cities, not big, but for this area, it's like Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, Sheboygan, those type of areas are bigger cities usually.
Okay.
And then like right now I live in Washoe County. I live out by a town called Poughkeepsie. Very small.
Say that for me one more time. What's it called?
Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a gas station, church, firehouse. Firehouse is actually where we go to vote. So smaller little town. The majority of the area is smaller towns like that.
Gotcha. And so I guess for your district specifically, among hundreds of other districts in our country, I'm guessing that rural revitalization and like making sure that everyone has access to what they actually need is probably pretty important for your future constituents.
Absolutely. With all the farming issues that are going on currently, like with the big, beautiful in quotation there, bill,
Yes.
It ended up cutting a lot of the money going to farmers. It also ended up cutting like where the farmers were being able to send their food to, because a lot of them were actually sending them to like the USA or USA.
Interesting.
So when they're no longer able to sell to that, they're sitting with more crop and not able to sell it, which is hurting a lot of the farmers in the area.
I think people forget how much our farmers benefit from USAID, but also the like SNAP program, right? Food stamps.
Yep.
Like a lot of our farmers are growing food to feed the needy. And when those programs get cut, all of a sudden it's all interconnected, you know?
Right.
Very
We,
frustrating.
we try to have it where everybody's helping each other, like the farmers are helping with the people in the area as well as obviously out of country and stuff. But with a lot of the tariffs that are going on currently, that has cut down a lot on the amount that is being able to be sold.
Yeah.
I've seen different articles lately that have talked about how like the production or the selling of all the crops in the area, they've been massively down, where all of the farmers pretty much are starting to struggle, and probably within a couple of years are going to end up having to declare bankruptcy, a lot of them.
I think people who've never been around farmers I just don't have any idea how hard it is to run like a small farm, especially when you have
Mhm.
to compete with these massive companies that get the government contracts and stuff like that.
Right down the road from me, I have a farm called Seneca Foods, and they have actually some, I believe, migrant workers.
Mhm.
So that plays in with the whole human rights and everybody having their right to due process and their right to live free.
Yes.
So, like, this area, believe it or not, actually has quite a few of the issues that are going on lately too, due to the
Yeah.
fact of obviously the migrant workers working on the different farms and being scared because they don't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
Again, it's all interconnected. A lot of people scream about immigration and they forget that a lot of these migrants and these people who are working, some of the people who are undocumented are the people picking our fruit and picking our food. And I'm like you, I'm very far left leaning and people get mad when I talk about that, but I'm like, actually it's some people in our country only register people as people based off of their production. Like I don't, but sometimes you have to speak the language of other people to get a point across, which is frustrating. But yeah, when you're removing people who are doing hardworking jobs and things that we rely on every day, it's
Mhm.
kind of crazy. The things we rely on every day might stop coming to us because we're getting rid of the people who are doing the things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple months ago, I think it was, when the government literally was saying how with the big beautiful bill, they can go ahead and that work requirement for Medicaid and stuff, they could go and
Yeah.
work in the fields. And do you not understand why they're on Medicaid? Like most of them
Right.
are on some type of disability or something like that where
Right.
they can't work, at least not that much, or it's
Not like
the
that.
field.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that physical,
And they're like,
like
oh,
there's,
they can go out in the field and get their required work time. Oh,
they're also at the same time trying to like lower the age of children being able to work. And I'm like, oh yes, the children, they yearn for the fields. They would love to do backbreaking work instead of learning something fun, new and interesting. Like,
and
really?
then when they start lowering the age of like that type of stuff where it's just work, that's where it starts. And then you get the slippery slope of when is a child considered an adult, and that muddies waters for everywhere else. And
Well, and they're already talking about that as well. We have a
yeah,
lot of conversations about dropping the age of consent for marriage. And I'll remind everyone listening that child marriage is very much still legal in the United States. There's a lot of loopholes and it's nasty work, but now being talked about. I,
talked
I,
about
I much prefer it. I much prefer it being talked about behind closed doors, I think is my
right.
point.
Like it's more of a I'm not hearing about it, I'm not seeing it. I just go about my life. But
Now,
we
yeah,
we can't, and we can't keep doing that where we just because we don't hear about it or don't see it, we have to make sure that we're taking stands on every aspect instead of just
Yeah.
what's public.
Well, and that's like the very, very typical. I just had a very typical white woman moment. I'm like, I can't see it. Oh, it's not my problem. Ah, gross, gross. But it's true, right? That's something Americans we do really well. Is like, and I think that's part of the issue with immigration is that people are like, immigration, homelessness, veterans. It's not that they want to fix the problem; they don't want to see the problem.
Correct. And then recently, like last week, they had the Fox News anchor, Fox News host, literally saying that they want to involuntarily euthanize the homeless.
That's murder. I don't
Yeah,
know if you, when people say involuntarily euthanize,
correct.
what's fucking murder?
Yes. And
And he still has his job.
yep.
Yeah.
But other people that make comments about the administration are being fired or punished for what they're saying. And it's just
Strong
completely
armed.
one side.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I think this is all of the culmination of everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks has like, it literally has my brain bleeding out of my ears because people are screaming about freedom of speech. And I'm like, I don't know if you've read the amendment ever, but recently I've revisited it a few times. It's not freedom of speech to like not get hit in the face. You cannot go up to people and say whatever you want to say and assume they won't hit you and then scream freedom of speech. It's supposed to be protection from the government.
Mainly, yes. And just like just because it worked on your side in the past because it
Yeah,
was involving you, like you were the one speaking out against others, then it's freedom of speech. But as soon as there's some type of switch where you're the one being talked about, then all of a sudden it's no longer freedom of speech. It's inciting violence and every other thing that they're calling it right now, which is ridiculous.
I'm writing an article and I had to dive through Laura Loomer's
Ooh,
Twitter, and I can
that
tell
is the
you,
rabbit hole.
it's, I mean, she's tweeting so much. I only made it through like 4 days. It's, I feel like I need a shower. It's gross. And it is it's like illuminating into what non-liberal people are saying about liberal people. I was just like, I've been told I have Trump derangement syndrome. I've been called every name in the book. Someone the other day literally told me I was a traitor to my race. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was 1945. I literally, like, every mental illness has been hurled upon me, all these things. But as I read these tweets that go out every like 4 minutes, I was just like, I mean, I have mental illnesses and they're doctor prescribed. Like I've always talked to medical professionals about it, but I was just like, this is something. I don't know what it is. And I don't think it's mental illness, but it is some version of it almost feels like a little, I don't know. I was just reading it and I was like, do you think this every moment of every day? And she must, because it's every 90 seconds. Sidebar. We got a little off track there. You've been doing town halls since April.
Correct. Pretty much since the Republican Party came out and told their members not to do town halls. One of the last ones that we had in the area was one of those clips that went viral, Glenn getting out of the vehicle and people yelling at him and saying, grow a pair of balls or different things like that as he's walking in. And yet there were people that were quite not happy with him because of his performance. And instead of listening to their concerns or their issues, whether they're Republican or Democrat, because we're all his constituents, whether
Right.
he wants to acknowledge that or not.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
we all at least deserve to be heard and
Yeah.
acknowledged of the issues that are going on or what we think he should be doing or voting. But with Glenn, he ends up voting however he's told. But I know most of the votes that he votes on are pretty much anything that Trump wants him to.
This is, there's obviously a massive confidence issue with the majority of the United States, whether you're Democrat or Republican. I think there's a huge confidence issue in our government. Part of that has been sown by the Trump administration since about 2014. He started talking about how if he lost then, the elections would be rigged. So it's been going on for a while. But like, I think the craziest thing for me, and I was having this conversation with someone yesterday who's not American, and she was like, "You're trying to rationalize something that's not logical." But like, why wouldn't they want to have town halls? Like, I know it's because they're not doing their jobs, but it's like, you could be the one Republican having a town hall and maybe you get reelected next time when everyone else gets washed out, just because you
Yeah.
showed up and you said, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
But then you had the few that did try to do their town halls, and then they
They
ended
were
up
great.
just going down the rabbit holes. And like with Senator Ernst, I believe it was in Iowa, how
Joni,
they
yeah.
made the comment of that the cuts are going to kill people, and she decided to say, "Well, we're all going to die someday," and then doubling down on it with a video
That was
message
insane.
the next day in a graveyard was
I didn't see that.
insane.
I didn't see that.
You could see behind her there's tombstones as she's walking and talking about Jesus and all this. I'm like, oh my God.
Like,
How?
ma'am, who on your team approved this? Does any
And
like that's my question. I'm like, do any of your team members like you guys? Like,
they need to be fired. Whoever on their team allowed that needs to be fired, because whether she wanted to do that video or somebody told her to do that video was not
someone should have
that.
said no.
Yeah.
Someone should well, and but that's kind of the MO of this entire party right now is
Mhm.
finding the people that are going to say yes to you, whether that's from like President Trump to the Congress to the Supreme Court, or it's like Congress to their staffers and their little fiefdom, you
Mhm.
know. Whereas when we think about some of our like most famous and most impactful historical people, like presidents and stuff, like Abraham Lincoln, the book written about his cabinet is called Team of Rivals. They argued all the time and they and he listened and he argued with them and then they made decisions versus just people being like, "That's a great idea. You shoot that video in a graveyard. It's crazy." Oh man, I increasingly find myself, I don't know how old you are, but you remember the scene in The Lion King?
I will be 42 in about a month and a half.
Okay, perfect. So you're the perfect demographic for this. Happy almost birthday. By the time this comes out, it will be your birthday. It's four. Yeah. It's a little birthday podcast. I keep thinking about Scar when he's surrounded by the hyenas and he's
Yep.
just like surrounded by
He finally
hyenas.
realizes there's no, now I'm trapped.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "I've picked a bunch of losers. I put my hat in with a bunch of losers." So, okay, so tell me a little bit more about your town halls, about what you're hearing from the people in Wisconsin's 6th district. What's keeping them up at night?
So I've had some of the people talk about the immigration issue of one lady. I actually went to high school with her. She was having questions because her husband is an immigrant, but he
Oh,
does have all of his. He documented. He came through the proper process and everything,
right.
and
It's
there's
still so scary.
it's still scary because the government can change their mind at any point and say, nope, you're going to go home. Or
Yeah.
heaven forbid, you're going to a different country.
That's the Supreme Court just recently said, sure, go ahead, racially profile people.
Yep.
Again, I didn't know it was 1945. I thought we had moved beyond that. I can't imagine what families with documented immigrants and undocumented immigrants are feeling, or even just, it's America. A lot of America are brown and black people.
Correct.
So
And
just you could be born in Fond du Lac or in Maryland or wherever and just ah. Okay, so what else are people telling you at the town halls?
I've had people questioning and asking about the healthcare system, big shit show bill that passed.
Just the new name. I like it.
They're asking questions about that before even the bills had come out. When I first started doing town halls, I initially just wanted to try to keep people up to date on what was going on, especially
Yeah.
because even though I was paying attention to what was going on, I would miss things and not notice it until like three videos later. I'm like, oh shoot, that was part of that too. So
Yeah.
I ended up just trying to put the information together and let people know what was going on at the time. Doge was making all their cuts and
Yeah.
attack different agencies and different areas of the government and trying to make their spending cuts everywhere except where they actually could make spending cuts that would make a difference, such as
Yes. Yeah.
defense budget. There's there's things that are in the defense budget every year over and over. If you actually go through the budgets as they are passing them each year, a lot of the things that I see in them are things that do not need to be there. There's
Yeah.
been within the last 5 years, I believe, if not sooner. Can't remember exactly which budget it was that I was looking at, and the military had said they do not want these drones because they weren't working. They're like,
Right.
we already contracted to have this many built or whatever, so we'll go ahead and take them, but we don't want any more. And Congress gave them more money to buy more and told them to buy them. They're
Yeah.
like, we don't want them. We don't need them. They're sitting in storage because we will not use them. But
Right.
it's fun to buy more. It's literally, you're just at that point making it so that companies that are supporting you as a congressman are
That's what's happening. Yeah.
making money, even though it's a waste because they're not even going to use the equipment. And
Yeah. I
and
mean,
it's
well,
like
and that's
that.
like people think that our government has grown so much, but what we are doing is exactly what you're talking about, right? We're hiring outside companies, and that's what's expanded so much. And that's why our budgets have expanded so much, is because we
Mhm.
have to pay private companies a fuck ton of money to
Yep.
do what the government should be doing. And if you've ever had to work with a consultant, And
Yep.
so I think about how much of that money could be spent on people and individuals in our country and where we would go if we
Right.
invested a little bit in the people.
And with everything going on currently, that it's just, I don't even
But
know where
also
to start.
Department of Defense that's Elon's friends. He can't
Right.
he can't ruffle those feathers. Obviously you can't ruffle the you don't want to bite the hand that feeds the congressman either, because the congressman will then be on his back as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would know this, but is SpaceX under Department of Defense? Or is their contract under them, or are they separate because they're aeronautical?
They do. Let me grab my notes. So many papers. For some reason, obviously right now, obviously I can't find it. Decided
Hey,
to
you know what? That's okay.
run
That's,
away.
that's
But I do know that like a lot of the different things that were going on, Elon ended up like he would go ahead and go after the different agencies that had like an open investigation against some of his companies, or he ended up getting the contract for SpaceX, and I believe that actually was through the Department of Defense. So
I'm sure some of it is right because they can That's the thing about the Department of Defense is they're such a broad umbrella. I wrote a pitch years ago to be like, the way that we house our homeless population is under the Department of Defense. Because it is defense, technically. If we have a much happier and healthier population, especially as it pertains to veterans, we're a much safer country. And since we can apparently tuck anything under the Department of Defense, fuck it. Let's do it. Why not? I mean, shit. Like, we're paying consultants and Doge and all these people. So it's kind of crazy to me. But yeah. So what else are you hearing in your town halls and from your constituents?
A lot of the things that are being brought up are a lot more like local issues, which it's hard. Like I'll listen to them obviously and try to talk to them about the different aspects because there's been like different things about crime in different areas or about the certain aspects of the school system in different
Yeah.
cities. And those are things that I, as a congressman, wouldn't really do in
It's
daily
not a
do.
daily touch point. Yeah.
So a lot of them are like dealing with more local or state type issues where I, of course, would work with any of the local or state officials if they need something from the office or from me personally. But yeah, it's not really in that job that it's not in the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It's more of a local thing or like I. So it's hard to kind of give them the information or like give them hope that I'm gonna help with those aspects because that's not really something that a congressman does. Um,
Yeah.
it's
I
most
mean,
I they
what's kind of refreshing is that you're actually admitting that because I do feel like a lot of candidates and a lot of Congress people are like, yeah, I'll fix that. And then they never do. Because
yeah,
it's like you said, it's not in their jurisdiction.
and that's a big part of what's wrong with a lot of the congressmen or candidates or congresswomen out there right now due to they just blatantly lie or say, yes, I will fix this or yes, I will do this when they know that they can't or they
They're
can't
talking out of the
even,
sides of their mouth. Yeah.
yeah, or they can't even make steps towards what they're talking about because it's not something that they can do as the responsibilities of Congress pretty much being writing laws and doing the budget every year.
Mhm.
Supposedly that's part of their job. I don't know if
Right.
anybody them, but
Ugh. Well,
it's
again, you're basically my age. We've
yeah,
never really seen a functioning like in our adult life. Because
yeah.
my
The
first
last
election,
time,
I got to vote for Barack Obama, and then the next day it was Mitch McConnell squished a little face on the camera saying, "I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we nothing gets passed." And you're like, "Cool, that I'm sure that's helping." That helps the American people, yeah, because you're
right?
a racist prick, and that was almost 20 years ago, kids.
That it was. And the last time that there was actually even a balanced budget was back in the Clinton days. And that I was in junior high at the time because we
Right.
literally had a whole section of our social studies class where all we did was talk about the impeachment and how how like
Yes. And you're like, "Ma'am, we are.
historical it was.
We're 14."
Yeah, but we literally had to do reports and everything on the whole
Oh my
impeachment
God.
process and why he was being impeached and all of that going into everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that's bad.
That to me, that was like now as an adult, I'm just like, what a waste of taxpayer dollars. Like,
Right.
yeah, you cheated on your wife. Yeah, you lied about it.
And yeah, you did it in the Oval Office, but
But
that was
you are Bill
like
Clinton.
personal life type stuff, not
Yeah.
anything dealing with the duties of president.
Do we need to stop the discourse around, again, helping the homeless, helping veterans? Like, keeping prices down. Do we have to stop all of that? And of course, 22-year-old Monica Lewinsky got shipwrecked. And
Mhm.
and it's like, well, the leader of the free world hit on her. And
Yeah.
I don't know if
And
you remember being 22 and getting hit on
I was
by
just going to say,
someone.
who among us at the age of 22 didn't make stupid mistakes?
So many dumb mistakes. I'm so
Oh, yeah.
grateful I wasn't working in the White House. Yeah, that to me is bonkers, right? Because for a
Yeah.
long time, we did do that. A Republican would come along, they would drive the deficit up, they would create a lot of, spending issues, they'd spend a ton of money, and then the Democrats would show up and they would balance the budget. And
Or,
now
well, yep.
they would try, they would do
Yeah.
their best, right? And now it's just like, we just added $4 trillion to our,
Just to give more tax cuts to the wealthiest 0.01% of the population.
Joey, it's going to trickle down. Don't you know?
It never happens that way. If it did, we would all be
We would all be so
perfectly fine right now. We'd all have money for food and for groceries and for our medical bills and for our
yeah.
gas, and we'd be out going actually on vacations. I haven't had a vacation in years because I can't
I
really afford to have a vacation.
So I think a lot of young people don't understand this, but older Gen X and boomers, the tradition for even lower middle class families was like there was a vacation every summer, and it might be camping by the lake. We camped a lot. That was like how we could afford to go places, and it was awesome. And we drove everywhere, by the way. Nobody flew anywhere. I just want to remind people, like we drove down to Key West, 17 hours. That my brothers drove once they could drive. They would drive a long way, and we had to listen to Linkin Park. They're your age. We had to listen to Linkin Park for 10 hours straight on CD. No skips, by the way. No skips. That's a
Of
great
course.
album. But people don't remember that time period where people had, again, it wasn't much, but we had 2 pennies to rub together.
Mhm.
And having experiences like that, especially as a child, especially as young adults, you meet people that are different than you. And it builds a lot. Like we actually, on one of our camping trips, we met a homeless kid. He just like showed up at our campsite. And while we were camping, my mom baked him a birthday cake on top of an open fire. Like it changes your perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my big things. You just got like a stump speech about leisure activities. I think whether it's reading a book, going camping, really like, getting on a plane and going to another country and experiencing a different culture, or even just going to a museum, it changes everything.
It completely changes everything. Yeah, instead of going to a museum or stuff like that, I end up just watching the History Channel all the time because
That's
I
actually
love
really
history.
helpful too.
Yeah, I love history. I love mythologies. I'm constantly watching different things about how things worked in the past and what
Yeah.
happened. And I I like to think that it may not repeat because people have said in the past that history always repeats itself, and now they keep saying it doesn't. It just rhymes with the past,
Yeah.
and so there's so much you can learn just by learning about what happened in the past and what steps they did and see where they ended up, which most of the time is being defeated because they're no longer around. But at least that way, you know what steps not to take.
That's part of it. I agree with you. I think that I'm like a big proponent of history informing who we are as a people. And realistically, like I've been screaming from the rooftops that right now in this moment in time, every single Democrat needs to just hightail their ass to the fucking left. Go as far like Donald Trump in my mind is a Hoover. He is, the start of the Great Depression and And the person that comes out of this, the leader that comes out of this has the potential to be our generation's Franklin Roosevelt, frankly. And my podcast is named after Franklin Roosevelt. I have a tattoo of something he said down the side of my body. Like, to me, he is the American president that gave us the leisure activities, that gave the generations before us the time and the money and the opportunities to like be well-rounded.
Right.
Yeah. If
And
you
a lot,
had one piece of advice for younger people listening, what would you say? I don't know why that kept popped in my head. I've never asked anyone that question on the podcast.
and one piece of advice for younger generation. Oh my. A lot of what I keep coming back to is a lot of the things that we learned when we were young. Like, treat everybody how you want to be treated, treat them with respect. It doesn't matter what they look like or who they are. Everybody deserves to be treated with respect. Be yourself, be truthful. If somebody doesn't like you for who you are, they're not worth it.
I think about two pieces of, and one I think is from a television show, but one is like tell the truth because for no other reason it's easier to remember than lying. But the second thing is you don't like nobody likes everybody. Why do you want everybody to like you?
Right.
You know?
I don't like you, but as long as you still treat them with respect, whether you like or you like each other or not, that's all that matters. Like, I have
Yeah.
so many people that I meet all the time, even before now, because I've met people here and there at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I work at a bar and I work as a custodial staff up in Green Bay. I clean the car dealership, and then I work as a bartender down in North Fond du Lac. So about an hour away from me each way. But
Oh gosh.
meeting people at the bar, they may not agree with how I live my life or or what I believe in, but they know me as a person, and that is what they come away with because they see how I treat others, how I talk with others. And like, when I first started doing campaigning and letting people know I was running, I had quite a few people that would come in and they were completely on the other side of the aisle, or like
Right.
Republicans, or they've never voted in their life or voted Republican their whole life. And they literally told me that I've never voted for Democrat, but I will vote for you because I know who you are. I know what you stand for. And that is something I want in a position that can help us.
How lovely to hear, but also telling about your character. I mean, realistically, like, again, for people who are younger than us listening, there was a time where there was a lot of respect in politics, and it has gone by the wayside over the last, I would say, probably since Barack Obama got elected,
Yeah.
2009, maybe the Tea Party. Um, but even when John McCain was running against him, I distinctly remember someone hurling some slur around. I think they probably called him a terrorist, right? Because everyone thought
Yeah.
he was not born in the United States and that he was a Muslim and that all, whatever. And John McCain stopped the rally and was like, oh, no, 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 no. Shut your mouth. And I don't love John McCain by any means, but like, um, I do remember that like one moment in time where I was like, okay, cool. It's a testament to your character. That's how shit gets done in the real world, is that like people who disagree work together.
Yep.
I feel like
And
we're teaching Congress how to be kindergartners. Like we share.
that's one good thing about being a bartender. It's pretty much no different than being a daycare operator. So I'm ready for the kindergartners and the small children.
You're like, when adults get drunk, they do act like children, and I know how to take care of them. I was a
Yeah.
bartender for a long time too. People are like, what's a bartender being like? I'm like, mostly therapy, but also pouring drinks.
And also taking care of toddlers. Because
Yes.
I saw a video recently where it was like, are you speaking to a bar patron or a toddler? And he's like yelling different things. Either one works. Get
Who
off the
knows?
table. Get down from there.
You don't fall asleep there. You cannot fall asleep there. You have to go home. I honestly think that people who work in the service industry should run the world personally. Again, I am biased. I've done it myself, but it's a hard job and like it's very stressful. And then it's also no bullshit, right? You know,
Yeah.
shit starts to hit the fan and you're screaming at people to get stuff done. And then at the end of the day, you're like, you know, I screamed at you, but I'm not screaming at you. The situation warranted a scream and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do it again.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say everyone's so sensitive these days.
A lot of them are very sensitive these days. And currently, with what's all going on in the whole political violence thing, some of them actually may have a point in that aspect.
Yes,
Which,
exactly.
I mean, I don't think I had a single view that was aligned with Charlie Kirk. However, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. And
Yeah,
for
it,
his wife and child to have to be in the audience seeing that, that is a horrible thing.
I was told, I've tried to fact check this a few times. I was told his kid was not there. And I don't even know if his wife was there. I've heard it a couple of ways and I don't know, I can't find a definitive answer one way or another.
I have heard
So
that they were, and even if they weren't, that's
it's
still
all
what,
over the internet. It
yeah,
doesn't matter if they were or not, right? Like there's no escaping this. And
that thing,
I'm
all
with
you
you.
had to do was open up your phone and you literally saw the video in front of
I
you.
didn't I didn't see a single, the only time I saw warnings was from individuals.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, not a single one of them put up a
Mhm.
warning. Mind you, I got a warning on Instagram for reposting something that was like, immigrants make the world a better place. And it was like it was done in like a bouquet of flowers. It's beautiful. And I was just like, it didn't click with me until we're just talking about it right now that I didn't see a single fucking warning. Do you have any
Nope.
thoughts about internet safety and like since we're thinking about that, I mean, that's something that Congress, I think that would be something really great to honor Charlie Kirk's memory. I'm being real with you, is an internet safety bill.
That definitely would be one aspect of honoring his life. See, it's touchy because you have to, the whole freedom of speech thing and the freedom of the
Right.
press. And I understand all of those aspects, but still, like the warning thing is a nice thing. I've gotten there, been scrolling before, and there's been a picture that is blurred or covered saying warning. And I click on it because it's a friend of mine and it's him shirtless. I'm like, are you kidding? Like,
Right, right,
you
right,
have a
right.
warning
Exactly.
for that, but
Not for a
or to
shooting
start
victim.
an assassination. What?
Literally. I mean, I didn't even, yeah. I mean, that's whether their family was there or not, it's going to be everywhere always. It was very jarring. And I don't agree with anything Charlie Kirk has literally ever said except for release the Epstein files. That is the one thing I agree with him on. Yeah, there was no business why it was so easily shareable all the time without warnings. And I do worry about the next generations and the way that the internet is today. I'm not smart enough to explain all this shit. Like, I don't know the intricate detail. Like, I really don't. But I have a feeling it has something to do with the amount of money that Mark Zuckerberg, head of Google, the the heads of all these other like Microsoft and all these other big companies, how much money they're giving to Congress is why we don't have something like an Internet Bill of Rights.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, there's so much that could be done if only the people would be willing to do it and not be selfish and do it, do the job just for power or promotion of themselves or the wealth or whatever. Like, I've had many people ask me, well, what makes you different? Why would you be any different than this person who's just now like making this amount per year now? And I'm like, the biggest reason, if you look at how much I make now, not even close to
Yeah.
great at all. But I work 2 jobs. I have 1 day a week, usually off. Not anymore with the campaign, but
Right.
before the campaign, I had 1 day a week off, and I only made like 40 some thousand, or right around 40,000 a year. It's
Yeah.
not a whole lot. The position of congressman is like 6 times that amount.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, what more do I need? Like, I that would
And it
pay
comes with
every
healthcare, gym, you get a
life.
lot of like other benefits on top of being 170 some $1,000, you know?
Yep. And I wouldn't have to worry about my bills. I wouldn't have to like I'd be covered everywhere. So
Right.
why I'm not the type of person where I want more and more and more. Like, as long as I have what I need, like me and my fiance, we bought a house last year in August. And
Congratulations.
thank you. So
When are you
we
guys getting married? Personal question.
it's not set yet.
Campaign.
Yes. We've been together for 8 years though now. So
Okay.
um it's pretty much just we're
You're
already
like, we did, you're stuck with me now.
pretty
But we'll
much.
sign the paperwork when we sign the paperwork, but you are
Yep,
stuck with me.
pretty much. So like I already have a house.
Yeah.
If I get it paid off, great. That's
Right.
I don't need a huge mansion or anything.
No.
I have a car that I bought. It was my first time buying a new car and not a used car. I bought it probably 2, 3 years ago, and I was so excited. It had 7 miles. I'm like, woohoo! I've
Woo!
never had a
Single
car right off the
digits.
lot. And then
Yeah.
like I've done it with working hard, like
Right.
constantly working. I'm not in it to be a millionaire. I'm not
Yeah.
in it to, I know it's going to be hard work. I know it's going to be a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's nothing new to me. I'm used to hard work. I'm used to putting in a lot of time to get stuff done. But if I can put in that time and do that work for to actually make a difference for people other than myself, like I can do all of that and help other people at the same time. That's what makes this like a job that I really want to do because I
Yeah.
can make things better. I can try to make things better. I can say, yes, I will do this, I will do that. But if you've ever watched anything with Congress or in hearings or anything like that, it is a struggle to get anything through, especially now
It's
because
it's
nobody
getting
wants.
worse and worse.
Yep.
The productivity of Congress is I looked at a graph the other day. It keeps going down. They're
Yeah.
passing fewer and fewer bills, and it's exactly what you said. It's just a gridlock. Um, but I like that part about doing the job to help other people because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's not about enriching yourself. It's not about making money. It's about helping people. People
Mhm.
forget that. It's really easy to forget that when you're getting paid a ton of money, right? And
Right.
160 is a lot of money as it pertains to like the average in the United States right now. You'll be between two places. It's a lot of sacrifice and it is a lot of hard work. And I think it's a fair payment, especially because you're going to have to give up time with your family, be in DC.
Yeah. And
How are you?
go ahead.
Sorry, I have another question. How are you planning on, keeping the stamina, working two jobs and working on the campaign? Because we're still about a year away from primaries.
So I've been asking myself that every day. Um, I initially, when I first started, I looked up everything and was like, okay, I know it's going to be tight and I may have to do this for a while with both jobs. But when I was looking things up, it looked like there was a possible change in the law within the last couple of years where candidates could be paid out of their campaign, which I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't even sound right. And I talked to others about it, and they pretty much agreed that even if it was legally possible to do that, that they would never support a candidate that did that, which
Interesting.
makes it hard because I'm not I'm completely from the working class. I don't have stocks. I don't
Right.
have a huge bank account. I don't have the money that a typical campaign needs or
Yeah.
anything like
Where can, while we're right here in this moment in time, where can people donate to your campaign? And
yeah.
we'll put it in the podcast notes as well.
Okay. Yeah, I have a ActBlue account currently. Otherwise, I've pretty much just gotten donations in person from people. Um,
Mhm.
Mainly patrons at the bar that want to see me go further.
Is your bar going to host a fundraising event for you?
My upcoming fundraiser, well, past fundraiser when this is aired, is actually a dart fundraiser. So it's going to be like a dart tournament at the bar.
Hell yeah. That's so fun.
And we're going to do a silent raffle or silent auction basket. Typically, we do a lot of like fundraisers and benefits at the bar already. So I just reserved the hall, and this is going to be the fundraiser for the month of October for the bar.
That's awesome.
Instead of doing raffle baskets, because we can't legally do raffle baskets because it's gambling and it can't go to a political campaign, we have to do the silent auction. So we're doing that
Okay.
aspect. We're also planning on having a bake sale type thing. Some people have already offered to bake some goods to sell to help with the donations and get things going on that. I'm also working on making Viking wire weave keychain for
What is
people.
that? What's a wire weave?
I'm actually part of the SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronisms. It's pretty much medieval reenactment. So
Cool.
I learned a skill called Viking wire weave, and it's really cool. You can just kind of weave the wire around and then you pull it through a board, just kind of tighten it up and everything and elongate it. And I've been doing that for quite a few years. Here and there, I do like keychains for friends and family or whatever, just as a fun thing. But I figured it'd be a cool idea to have little keychains for everybody that when they came, I could either give them out or if they gave a donation, they got a keychain that was handmade.
Yeah.
So
Cool. It's also like really good to have activity with your hands. We spend so much time looking at these little screens, and sometimes you just need to put it down and do something else, and that's really healthy as well. So we're coming over on time here. And what we normally do at the end is 10-ish, depending, rapid fire questions,
Okay.
kind of get to know you questions. So I know the answer to this, but nobody else does. Are you a cat or a dog person?
I am a dog person. I love cats, but I'm allergic to cats. So
Oh, that's a bummer.
I love to like cuddle up with them, and then my throat starts to close and my eyes start
You're
to
like,
get
take
all
it back.
itchy. And I'm like, hey, somebody's gonna take the kitty because I'm
You're
going to
like,
die.
everything's fine. I love it. Oh,
Right.
what are
But
you? What's your dog's name? You were. I think you were talking about your dog earlier.
her name's Mabel. Just one second, I'll grab her. Just
Mabel.
see her. She's so cute.
Mabel's
Mabel.
a great name.
This is Mabel.
Mabel. Look at those ears. Girl.
Oh, pretty girl. They're so high.
Hi. She's like, I can't register this screen. Hi, baby. Gosh, she's so cute. How old is she?
She's 4 or 5.
Four
We
and five. I don't
rescued
know.
her.
Amazing. Thank you, Mabel. Thank you for your guest appearance.
There you go. We rescued her from Happily Ever After up in Green Bay. Um, we went and were looking at different dogs, and um,
Just
she
went just to look.
well, we wanted to adopt one, so we were actually there to look to figure out
Okay.
one.
Okay.
And we looked at a couple, and then they're like, well, we also had this one. Her name was Muffin while she was at the rescue. And she actually had a litter with her. And they were just able to start like adopting out the puppies. So they're like, well, we need somebody to adopt the puppies and somebody to adopt the mom. And they were excited because usually all the puppies get adopted out right away.
Yeah.
All depressed and sad because one by
Her
one,
children have been taken away. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it happened opposite this time because she ended up getting adopted and 5 of her puppies were still there.
You were like, give her
We
2
couldn't do a puppy. We wanted to, but we didn't have the time or the everything
People
to
forget
put in
how
to
hard
train.
puppies are. Like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends getting puppies, and I'm like, this is a baby, right? It is not a human baby, but it is a baby, and it doesn't wear a diaper. So it's actually like, yes, babies are very hard. Obviously, I know that. I'm not knocking babies, but you know, baby dogs are still babies.
Yep. They
Are
don't
you
look like
okay?
a can't go potty.
Exactly, exactly. Are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
Not usually either, but if I had, well, actually, more so both. A lot of times I'll drink coffee, but I do have like a raspberry tea that I'll drink
That's
some
nice.
nights when I just need to relax or if I'm starting to get sick, which currently I am. So I will probably be drinking some tea later
Love that
with
change of
some honey
season,
in it.
sickness, whatever,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay. If you were required to eat one meal a day, same meal, every day for a year, what would it be?
Probably pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Do you guys
I,
have
I,
good pizza in Wisconsin?
yeah, we have quite a few good ones. Lately, I've been eating a lot of the lots of matzo. Um,
Oh, I don't know what that is. Tell me more.
they're, they're pretty much more like they're frozen pizzas that you can buy at the grocery store. They have actually decent toppings. It's not like skimped toppings. and it's got
Yeah,
like extra mozzarella on it. So it's lots of mozz. Um,
I'm from New York, so I was like, is it on matzo bread?
no, but there's lots of mozzarella. Those have actually been my favorite lately, that I've been kind of going with.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love a frozen pizza. I take it as my like palate, and I judge it as I see fit, depending on what I have in my fridge and what I'm looking for that night. What's your favorite? I like to give options on this one. You don't have to answer all three, but either your favorite book, your favorite movie, or your favorite television series. You just pick one. You don't have to do all three, but you
So
can do all three. Yeah, I know.
trying to narrow this down. Favorite book would be like more of a book series. It's a couple different ones, but the one that I've been listening to a lot lately is the Nate Temple series. It's by Shane Silvers.
Heard about
It's, it's about a wizard from St. Louis, and I like a lot of the urban fantasy type books, so it's right up
Yeah,
my alley there.
cool. I'm looking at it now. I love a fantasy book. I just like it can be modern day, it can be ye olden times, it could be,
Yep.
it's- it could be dystopian. I don't care. I'm like, give like fork it over. I want it and like put it in my veins.
Yep, and pretty much any fantasy type books like that, or urban fantasy, or movies even, are ones that I like. TV shows, if I had to go with one, I'd probably go with Supernatural.
It's all yeah, I'm seeing a trend.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
used to play D&D all the time when I was younger, so yeah, it's a big trend. I'm
It does it really what we do when we're younger really informs us. Again, history informs who we are. I'm the same
Yep,
way. I fell in love with fantasy books as a child, and now I love fantasy books. I also love sci-fi books, right? Like I'm like, if there's fantasy and also time travel, I lose my mind. I have so much. I'm like, yes, I'm like, nailed it. This is like whew, there's not a lot, but there's a handful. Okay, last question. What's your favorite thing about your district?
so if I had to pick one thing about my district that I think is my favorite would be the sense of community and the willingness for so many to help others. Like with the benefits and fundraisers that we have each month, they go over so well, and people for all different causes are constantly donating their time or their money or
Yeah.
different items. Or when I was younger, our house burned down when I was in third grade, and the community actually came together very well and were right there to kind of help us with clothes or food or different things, because we pretty much lost everything at that time. Or when my dad had leukemia when I was in junior high, we had a benefit for that. And the amount of support and donations and everything, whether it was just time or companionship where they're just there for you, that
Yeah.
that's one big thing about this district that I love.
That's really beautiful. That's exactly where we're gonna wrap up because I like to end on a really positive note. Joey, thank you again for being here. Folks, thanks for listening. This is Joey Marshall, Marschall. He's running in Wisconsin's 6th district, and you can find his campaign information, his Act Blue, all in the show notes. So, Joey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you for following The Foolish Optimist. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much. We're going to be dropping new episodes every Wednesday, and you can watch the video episodes on YouTube. If you would like to, please give us a review, leave comments. You can also email us at thefoolishoptimistpodcast@gmail.com. If you see any really great candidates that I should be talking to, send them my way. Thank you.